Sector 101. This is JJ Parker Townley, and you're listening to Badman Radio 89.9. Before we start the music, we have an announcement. Governor Caesar Feld just declared a travel ban on all surrounding sectors following a rapture near Lakota. This is due to the increasing number of cryptids along the Black River Basin and the eastern borders. While Governor Feld has stated that the situation is under control, many are not so true.
Babies don't really have souls, so when one dies, it's kind of meh. Plus, if you have too many kids, then you can just kill them, then they will...
When the fuck did this ever come up in the conversation? What the fuck are you talking about?
Hello again, stranger. Need a map, I assume? You'll know where it is. Stranger. I wouldn't stay long.
Yo, stranger! Yo, stranger! Get out here, you little bastard! Get out of here or we're coming in!
I wouldn't stay long.
It has come to my attention that the situation
Good morning, Sector 101. JJ Parker Townley, and you're listening to Bad Man Radio 89.9. Before we start the music, we have an announcement.
Several confounded St. Louis.
Why is it?
Portland. Sacramento.
Fire
Los Angeles. Houston.
I wouldn't stay long.
That is not your decision to make. Get up.
It all could have been different, but a lot happened, so this is what we got instead. So what changed? The original plot of A Wayfaring Stranger was very different, as well as the world around the main character. I had to cut a bunch of stuff, some of which was written down, while some I just had an idea of but never got around to writing. So let's go through what was cut, and what my original plan was. This is exactly what I wrote down as the concept, centered around someone trying to survive and get somewhere safe or find something or some shit. Yeah, the story actually had a destination. The film wasn't just supposed to take place in a wasteland or GM_atomic, that's the map. I had plans for the MC to go through a densely wooded area. The wasteland is a somewhat populated area which only really has zombies as a threat. The wooded area would be where the MC would encounter cryptids. Yeah, that's right. They were meant to be cryptids. Not good ones, mind you. The ones I created kind of looked like someone was trying to clone Nemesis Blue, but cryptids regardless. They would be incredibly sly and brutal creatures who the MC would have to run from in the forest. I never wrote anything for this scene. As I got to a certain point, I kind of realized that I wasn't going to finish in time with the script I had, so I stopped writing anything past scene 11. The original plot was also broader. It centered around timelines colliding and mixing together, meaning the alternative realities were mixing. A reality where Germany won World War II could be mixed with a reality where the world is in a zombie apocalypse, where there's a viral outbreak of some sort of man-eating bacteria, where Pangea is still a thing, things like that. This is represented near non-existently in the film. It just looks like a generic zombie wasteland kind of thing, and that's my own fault. But it's also because I did genuinely run out of time to actually expand on it. I'm not saying I wasn't given enough time, it's entirely my fault. I simply didn't work on it enough. Anyways, this of course wasn't my immediate decision when it came to plot. I had several different ones, which include a pilot inspired by the movie Falling Down, which centers around a man slowly losing his mind as he goes throughout his day to find his wife and daughter and possibly kill them. A pilot set in the Postal 2 universe and following the Postal 2 dude. A pilot in the universe of my short film ZD Soft Recovery. A pilot inspired by Nemesis Blue and Don't Join the Red Team, and then the original plot. I also went through a couple of different names. These names were Tumultus, which I believe is Latin for chaos, confusion, violent uproar, whatever, though it was Google Translate, so take that with a grain of salt. A Man with No Name, and The Lonesome Stranger. I ended up going with A Wayfaring Stranger, which comes from a song of the same name that was featured in the movie 1918. Now, let's talk about what I cut. We'll start with scene 3, which is the scene of the MC rummaging through a wrecked van with 2 corpses inside. This scene, the MC rummages through the van, looks into the cabin, picks up a lighter, then stares at the 2 corpses leaning on each other before walking off. The original scene was different. Originally, the shot would be the MC walking down the road, and he would look behind him to a truck that would be shooting at him. The MC would then run for cover behind the white van, tripping in the progress. That's when the next scene would cut. I didn't actually cut this for any reason. I just lost the animation file when I switched from Ubuntu to Windows 10. I wasn't disappointed though, as I didn't like how the scene was turning out, and I didn't think it would be wise to put such a scene that early into the video. I ended up deciding on having the MC rummage through the van and pick up contents, and that is what I did, but the corpses were different originally. There was supposed to be a crude sexual joke in that scene, as one of the corpses originally had their face buried in the other's crotch. I cut this as I thought the humor was too crude and unnecessary for what I wanted to make. Would have been funny though. There was also originally a short part of the scene where the MC would be using a water pump. I cut this for a very good reason. I didn't want to keep animating for the day. In scene 4, which is where the MC listens to a radio on top of a rock, it was originally the MC listening to the radio on a hill as 2 headcrabs fought below. I ended up changing this scene after I found a much better location for this shot. Now, let's go to the major stuff that was cut. Scene 9 is the MC's death scene. It was originally something entirely different. First of all, the guy who shoots the MC is named Tanner, although in the credits, he is Rustful Murderer. His name is Tanner, though. He is voiced by Crowbar Productions. Originally, Tanner, his lover Adler, and his group of insurgents/bandits would surround Rustville and demand Stranger, who is the main character, to come outside.
Yo, stranger! Get out here, you little bastard! I know for a fact you're in there. Get out here or we're coming in!
Tanner would argue a bit with Adler, who was supposed to be voiced by a very good friend of mine, but I never got to record her lines, so I'll voice her.
It's not gonna come out here, you fucking moron.
Shut the fuck up, Adler!
The Stranger would try to escape by climbing over a wall, but would be caught by some of the bandits. Tanner and Adler would come over.
Found you!
No, you didn't.
Adler! Quiet!
He would then be knocked out. This scene would be followed by scene 10, the torture scene. The Stranger would meet the torturer, who was originally meant to be voiced by Michael's World, but again, I never got to record the lines, so I will. The MC would wake up in the garage of a gas station, tied to a chair.
Morning. Welcome to, well, my room. Tanner told me to make you regret the poker game. Adler told me not to listen to Tanner. Unfortunately, I'd rather listen to the person who was telling me to do my job, so what happens next is simple.
It would then cut to a close-up shot of a blowtorch in the torturer's hand, and hard cut to the outside of a gas station where it would flash to the scenes of the Stranger being tortured. Scene 11 followed. The MC would wake up tied to a chair, with the torturer asleep at a desk. The Stranger would quietly break out of the chair and then grab a pistol from nearby. The torturer would wake up as the Stranger pulled the hammer back on the pistol, where the torturer would hold up his hand and be shot, falling back into his things. This would cut to the scene where Tanner and Adler are sleeping together. Tanner gets up, grabs a shotgun, and goes to the garage where the torturer's room is. He enters, finds the torturer dead, and the garage door open, and looks out into the wasteland. This is where the scene would end, and thus, possibly the end of the pilot entirely. Overall, I'm fairly disappointed with what I've made. I think I did some good with it, but overall I think it is not as good as it could have been. That is, of course, my fault. At the time I started working at it, I had around 8 hours in Source Filmmaker. I now have 84 hours. I also simply procrastinated too much. I was taking very long breaks in between because I plain did not want to work on it. either because I was lazy or actually burnt out. I don't regret making it, as it was a really good learning experience, and I'm glad I created it, but I genuinely think it could have been, shit. I genuinely think I could have done better. Maybe next time. Do I have anything else in the script? I guess not.